Good afternoon. We're here at ABC in the midst of the turmoil and chaos that's going on across the country. And I think it was awfully wonderful to hear the family of the young man that died ask that we wouldn't do that, that we wouldn't destroy and destruct things that we worked so hard for. And inadvertently, what happens when you have things that go on like that, people wound up losing lives. Um, and we don't want that. But I was, especially to our ABC students, Brother Shig will be sending out a letter that he composed for me. And I would like for you all to read it, not only our students, but adults also. And I was telling somebody a story this morning. I think I was a teenager, 17 years old. And there was a guy that my dad had got out of prison. His name was Rufus Kenyatta Hockenhull. He had been in San Quentin prison for, I think, 6, 7, 8, 9 years or something like that. And Rufus was 6'6", weighed 245 pounds with a 32-inch waist. And you could imagine this cat was built. And he was a boxer. And he could have been champion of the world. But he had gotten kind of entangled with one of our radical groups. I don't want to say a name. And he had came and was talking to me and kind of getting me excited and stuff. And, I'm a youngster and these are older guys and bigger guys. And I kind of went to liking the idea. And I didn't know it. My dad was at the top of the stairs. He was listening. And I started to go out. He said, "No, you're not going anywhere." He said, "You come here and you sit down." I said, "Rufus, I'll see you later." And he said, "I'm going to tell you something. If you want to change things, first of all, you start with prayer. That's what you start with. You start with prayer. And in order to change things, you have to have some kind of knowledge, some sort of knowledge. Because do you know how to make guns? No, sir. Do you know how to make any of them rockets or anything like that? No, sir. So you can't do too much. He said, so what you do, you get your butt in this house and you keep going to school like you're doing. And you learn how to pray. Because prayer changes things. And yeah, being radical and all of that, it looks good, it sounds good. And I know that we have a lot of things that, just the way that he had talked to me, I can remember it just as plain as day. There's a lot of things that we could be bitter about. But if you want to be bitter, what he told me was when I got bitter, what I did, I found out I wanted to box. So I went on and became champion of the world. And that's the way I changed things. And so I say to our adults, I say to us here at ABC, if we want to change something, we've got to keep doing what we're doing here. Teaching our youngsters how to step up in life with their best foot forward, without cowardice, but with courage and dignity. That's the way we change things. And then, but the paper, pen, and pencil, they always talk about how powerful the paper, the pen, pencil, and paper is. I think that I'm saying it right. Well, I know I have the utensils right. It says, but the greatest changing tool of all is love. And I know some of you are saying right now, oh, he going crazy. No, I'm not going crazy. I'm just, I know if you want to change something, you've got to have something here. And you see, over the years, over hundreds of years, being mean to us hasn't changed us, hasn't changed anything. So we've got to learn how to use love. Got to learn how to use love. And that's what we teach our kids here at ABC. That anybody can, if they want to. And this is something that, as we all know, that ABC was started by my dad, Archie Moore. And then it shut down, and some years later, the torch was passed on to myself. So we were led to restart it. So I restarted it. And the rest is history. And ABC is calling for us as a people. I want to say this here. I don't really know for sure. I'm just going by, have a couple of friends that do broadcasting around here and everything. And from my understanding, that we have a lot of peaceful people, black, red, white, yellow, and brown, that are marching peacefully together. But then you get others in there with identifying marks according to some people that's supposed to know. So I don't want to repeat that. And that's what causes everything to get chaotic. Grandmother got, I think it was the night before last, got shot with one of those rubber bullets. And from my understanding, I thought those rubber bullets weren't supposed to be able to penetrate. So, but when you get chaos and people being mean and things of that nature, that means that the citizens, civilians, citizens, and police too. But what we want to do is show love towards one another. And a big smile can change things. And I think let's try and practicing that instead of picking up a brick or picking up a stick. Let's try it. I happened to see today that in Minnesota, the white community, they came over. I didn't see it. I happened to be listening to a Christian radio station. And they had came over and knelt down and prayed in the black community, asking for forgiveness. And yeah, there's a whole lot of that needs to go on in this country. But we have to start somewhere. And I feel that's a big start. It's a mighty big start for people to do that, because it takes a real person to say I'm sorry. To say I'm sorry. And just, and I don't know how many of you are believers that are listening to this here, but being a believer is real. Being a Christian is real. It's a very sad time, but there are some of you out there that know what I'm talking about. There's more involved in this than us. There's more involved. And there's somebody that's involved. Means for a change to take place. And it's time for a change to take place. And Brother Shig and I talk about this a lot, and others that's heard. There's a thing that go like this here. My dad made me learn it, and some of my brothers and sisters too, I believe. But it goes, I will greet this day with love in my heart, for this is the greatest secret of success in all ventures. A muscle can split a shield and even destroy a life. But only the unseen powers of love can open the hearts of men. And until I master this art, or you master this art, we will remain no more than peddlers in the marketplace. I will make love my greatest weapon, and none on whom I call can defend against this force. My reasoning they may counter, my speech they may distrust, my apparel they may disapprove, my face they may even reject. Yet my love will melt all hearts, like unto the sun, whose rays softens even the coldest clay. If we can learn how to do that, things can change. But I want to say this here. Us as a people, African Americans, we've got to learn to love ourselves. We've got to learn to love each other. We're very mean and nasty in some cases towards one another. We've got to change that, because if people don't see us treating each other fairly and loving, but we want somebody else to come and do that to us when we can't do it to our own selves. So I hope I didn't step on any toes. If I did, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. We are awfully nasty towards one another. So let's see how we can start by coming together. And then we can expect better from others when we show better coming from us. And before we close here, there's a young man by the name of Lance Grow. Him and I talked today. He has a number of black businessmen that's come together that want to do something to help. And all he's looking for is for us to get information, relay the information to him. That goes we've had a lot of businesses that suffered some loss and some destruction, and these black businessmen led by Lance Grow want to do something to help make a difference. So if you get a chance, give ABC a call at 619-234-2200. That's 619-234-2200. And ask for myself, Billy Moore, or either Terrence Shake. And I think that's awfully big of this young man. He's a very outstanding young man. He's taken it upon himself to take some other men and step off in life with their best foot forward. But ABC family, looking forward. We have a couple of Zoom meetings coming up. So let's all come together and see what it is that ABC can do, that you all feel that ABC can do to help out. So until tomorrow or the next day, take care. Godspeed.